mean, you're right, man. I mean, I'm not in the most perfect shape at all, but I want to set a good example for my kids, and I also don't want to take the time away from them. So if I'm lazy in the morning and in the afternoon, instead of us eating like dinner together or eating lunch together, and I'm like, hey, I need you guys to watch TV for an hour while I go work out, like that's not right for them either.
Yeah.
So I'd rather do a little bit of sacrifice with.
What's up, Savages? Welcome back to the podcast where we teach you to ditch the average mindset. Today I'm here with my boy Anthony. If you guys haven't seen the podcast where we go do the marathon, check that one out. But yeah, it's been a while, dog.
It's been a while. It was June. So what, 8 months?
Yeah.
It's been 8 months.
It's been a while.
Damn, we already did the run that long ago, huh?
It's crazy, bro.
Yeah, it's been a while.
So how you been?
Doing all right, man. I think kind of last time we talked, was down and out for a little while. I jacked up my back. I tore some disc in my back. So I was going through the process of recovering from that. So I actually, I don't know if it's tearing disc or slip disc. I don't know the proper. That's why I never went to medical school.
Yeah.
But finally, after the last 2-3 weeks getting back at it, me and you did a couple runs last weekend. Just knocked out a run this morning. So baby steps, man.
Yeah, because we both kind of stopped running with each other.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what happened. We both got busy or the weather, something, holidays, whatever it was. I got injured. And then I think not too short after you got injured.
Yeah.
And we kind of we still kept in contact though. We're still like, hey, how you doing? Well, try this. Hopefully we get after it.
Yeah.
It sucks. Kind of voicing some of our frustrations. You know, it fucking sucks. I don't know how we're going to get back into it. Maybe there's times I was down and you were just like, nah, dude, we'll get back to it eventually.
Yeah.
Times where you didn't have so much hope and I'm kind of like, well, we got to do what we could do.
Yeah.
Right?
I think it was hard for me. I mean, I know you're a big weight guy, so you'll go hit the.
You're saying I have a lot of weight. I know, bro. I know.
You do have a lot of weight.
The camera doesn't do a good job.
So you're a big weight guy, right? So even if you're injured in one part, you were still hitting other parts on the weights. Yeah. For me, I kind of completely shut down. I was like, my go-to was always running, and then when that one kind of got taken away, I kind of stopped. Yeah, I rode the bike a little bit, but it wasn't the same. I bought some dumbbells and I hit them for a little bit, but I was just something about running that's just different. So I think I gotta self-discipline a little bit and be willing to try other things besides running because my body, obviously didn't like that I was running so much.
One of the things I've learned, on this journey, or I learned it from a book too, 50 Cent's book, is the key to progress and to overcome things is evolving. You got to evolve and adapt to your situation, bro.
Yeah.
Because I didn't start off, I hate running, but the reason I started doing is for heart health and for to lose weight.
Yeah.
And because I want to be able to run further, run faster, be more in shape. But I do prefer weights. But now it's like I love them both. Mm-hmm. But even when that got taken away, I was like, okay, let me get back to the weights.
Yeah.
Or okay, let me try to focus more on my diet. But that only worked for so long, and then I fell off track, obviously, on that too. But it's crazy. And then even reading, I was like, you know what? My physical ability to exercise kind of got taken from me, or I messed it up, whatever it was. It didn't get, due to my own fault. Mm-hmm. But I was like, you know what? Let me focus more on reading. Let me try to knock out these books. And I did. I knocked out a couple.
So are you staying true to your March challenge?
Yeah.
Okay. So how far are you into Reaper?
Chapter 6.
Okay, I got to step up my game. I'm only on chapter 3 of the book I'm reading right now, but
yeah.
I got to step on my game. I heard your podcast, I think it was 2 weeks ago. You said your March challenge is to knock out a book or two.
Yeah.
So I'm going to take you up on that.
Yeah, bro. And my goal is hopefully to finish it or get to chapter 9 by the end of this week, which is tomorrow.
So you want to read 3 chapters by tomorrow?
Yeah.
You could do it.
I figure for me what's better is to sit down and read 30 minutes or an hour.
Okay.
I know some people read 5 minutes here, 5 minutes here, 10 minutes, short periods. I'd rather either put my phone on silent or do not disturb and get 45 minutes, 30 minutes in. Even if it was 30 minutes, and focus my mind on that.
Are you reading before bed?
No.
When are you reading?
My lunch.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's smart.
I usually read on my lunch, so it doesn't have to really to do with my free time. Instead, most people are on their phone.
Nice.
So, and I struggle with that too. Sometimes I'm on my phone a couple minutes on my lunch, and I'm like, you know what? Let me put this down. Let me knock out these chapters. So when I'm off of work,
then you
I have my time to
Yeah.
spend my time with the people, my family members and stuff like that.
Cool, man.
But like you said, 2 weeks ago, we kind of both decided that we're feeling better to run, we did little running on our own, right?
Yeah.
I did a couple for like a week. I knocked out 2 miles. I was doing 2 miles a day here and there. You knocked out some.
I think mine were just kind of the same. I did a mile, a couple like days just to make sure my back was cool.
Yeah.
And then I casually jumped it up to like a little over 2 miles. And then we started texting. And last weekend we did, 3 miles Saturday and Sunday, right?
I don't know if it was 2. I think we did 2 at my house.
Okay, so 2 on
And then,
Saturday.
and then we came into your hood, your territory, and you're like, nah, fuck that. Let's step it up. And I was like, damn. Inside, I was like, damn,
Hey,
this guy. But then outside, I was, oh, yeah, sure, we got this.
But you didn't die?
Nah, not yet. I was funny because I was worried. I was thinking today, I was like, fuck, I hope it doesn't say 4.
Nah.
Just because my ankle. That's the only reason, because I don't want to push it too much where coming back from injury,
Yeah.
just you know what I mean? Do too much. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to try it, but if I got to a walk, I'm going to have to walk that. Not the whole 4th, but take a little break. But now I felt good.
You did good. A little over 3 we knocked out.
Yeah.
Felt good.
Yeah. And then it feels good. It is better to have, like we talked about, to have that accountability partner.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
It would have been honestly so much easier for me to not wake up
snooze.
this morning and be like, no one knows if I went for a run or not. But I woke up, I saw a text from you. I'm like, damn, all right, I got to get down.
Yeah.
Get ready.
Yeah. And it's like a mental switch that goes on when you know somebody's depending on you.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like you don't want to let them down. You're held accountable. And like we talked about too, it's just waking up in the morning. You got family, you got kids, you got a wife. So your weekends are hectic. I would imagine, right?
A little bit.
I'm pretty sure most people out there could relate.
Yeah.
And it's like, I respect that about you, that you take the time to, instead of using an excuse, use it as motivation. Like, that is why you have to wake up and knock it out.
Yeah. No, I mean, you're right, man. I mean, I'm not in the most perfect shape at all, but I want to set a good example for my kids, and I also don't want to take time away from them. So if I'm lazy in the morning and in the afternoon, instead of us eating like dinner together or eating lunch together, and I'm like, hey, I need you guys to watch TV for an hour while I go work out, like that's not right for them either.
Yeah.
So I'd rather do a little bit of sacrifice, wake up, an hour earlier.
Go to sleep sleep instead of like most people on TikTok or social media or watching TV, like you said, try to knock out early and wake up early.
I will say one of the biggest things that's helped us is we took the TV out of our bedroom. Like probably been like 3 years now. It was right after COVID hit. We took the TV out of the bedroom, and like we've been real intentional where it's like that's our space where, yeah, we do a lot of reading, we do a lot of talking, and then we sleep. It's not like we're not kind of just going off to La La Land and watching TV. You know what I mean? So
it's a place to actually rest, not just sit around and waste time.
Yeah, exactly.
It's funny because for the longest, I never had a TV in my room. Probably like 6 months ago, I got one. When I got injured, that's when I got one. And I caught myself like, you know what? I'm watching way too much fucking TV. So I did take a step back. And now maybe like an hour on the weekends, I'll watch or one movie here and there. We talked about that, like one movie here and there. And I try for it to be like a documentary or something educational. But at times, I'm human. I watch like a action movie or something.
And there's nothing wrong with watching TV. It was just, I think for us, it was we get sucked in and one more episode, and before you know it, it's midnight. Yeah. And then because we chose to watch 2 hours of TV, now it impacted our next morning or it impacted our next day.
Yeah.
So just little things like that. And now that it's been gone, it's like we don't miss it. Yeah. So we have this giant square in the wall that like we kind of look at like what are we gonna put there? But
you got to put your medals from your races, dude.
I got them up there, man.
Oh yeah. Well, you got to get so many that they don't fit up there, bro. You got to get them up right there.
I do got a box in the shed too.
There you go. See, that'll be dope right there. Hang them all up on the thing. But yeah, and what about your like starting over? I think we kind of talked about that. But what is the hardest part?
I think the hardest part for me was the fact that I knew what I was doing and not being able to do it. Like right now, for example, we're cool. We knocked out a 3 mile run, and we're like, hey, we had a good run. But 3, 4, 5 months ago, we were doing, hey, we're gonna wake up, we're gonna run like 6 to 8 miles. and then that's going to be a good workout for the day, and then, you know, go about our day. Tomorrow we're going to wake up, we're going to do 6-8 miles. So now it's like knowing that I'm not there, and the struggle that almost like not like beating myself up, like being okay that I knocked out 3 miles and not being upset about it, if that makes sense.
Oh yeah, it's frustrating, bro.
Mhm.
It's like, how did I used to do? My average was like 8.5,
Mhm.
and now it's like 10.50 or 10.5.
Yeah.
And I feel dead. I feel gassed. I feel like I barely completed that, or I had to walk. I couldn't run it without stopping. Like, how did I used to run a whole hour, 2 hours?
Yeah.
How do we do 2 hours around, all around Fontana?
And it's funny you mentioned that because last night I was on Strava, and one of our runs, I don't know how I came across it, and we did a 2-hour run and we did 15 miles. And I'm like, damn, like that seems like forever ago, but it was, honestly, I think it was last May. So we're coming up on almost a year.
Yeah.
But it's like, I want to get back to that.
It's the mental battle
Mhm.
of actually like starting all over.
Yeah.
Starting from ground zero.
Pretty much.
It's frustrating. For me, it's frustrating, and it's like, I'm barely getting into it, and I don't want to push myself to where I'm making my injury worse or
Yeah.
not fully recovering and jumping the gun. But like when I'm running and I'm feeling like it's tough, I just remember this is what the fuck you asked for when you were hurt. Like
Yeah.
you wanted this.
Yeah, you're right.
Like appreciate that you're running, even if it is 1 mile, even if you're walking, because there was a point where I couldn't even walk
Yeah.
because it was just that painful to to be on it. So it's like even when I was doing the walking challenge in I believe January, that was tough, but it was like, okay, you gotta walk before you gotta crawl before you walk.
Yeah.
You gotta walk before you jog. Appreciating every level, every step to that ladder.
Yeah, and I think it kind of worked out like a good timing with everything too, because we got that little challenge that we got going on at work with the steps.
Yeah, that's cool.
So the other day, like before we went to bed, like I was just walking circles around our bed, and my wife's like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "I gotta meet my goal," you know, like. Not that I didn't meet it, because I'm sure I did enough steps throughout the day. I don't have my phone on me 24/7, but I wanted like that number to show up. So some just little stuff like that, just pushing each other, like little friendly competition. I'm telling my wife, I'm like, hey, you're holding on the team. You got the lowest numbers. You got to step up your game.
Yeah. Yeah, like you said, I feel like we have that competitive nature in the back somewhere. As friendly as it is, it's still competitive, and it's like healthy competition. Because my fastest miles lately have been with you.
Yeah.
Because if I go run last week, I ran 3 miles right after I ran with you. My number was way worse. I couldn't do it without stopping. And with you, I do it without stopping. It's because in my head, like Anthony's going, I don't want to hold him back. I don't want to, like, we're like somewhat of a team. I don't want to hold you back because.
And I think, I mean, I don't know if you felt it this morning, but we press go, we start talking. Those 3 miles.
Well, I was
fly
doing
by.
more listening because I couldn't talk as much, But yeah.
I was doing a lot of talking.
That's fine. That's fine.
So that helps it go by too, you know.
For sure, bro.
Because when you're by yourself and you're listening to music or not, whatever it is, like those songs drag.
All you keep thinking about is the suck, the pain. I was cold, nobody's out here, and I should just do 2 miles instead of 3, or I should do 3 instead of 5. I got to do this later. I should just end it early.
Yeah.
But we're in a conversation with each other. Like you said, it helps the time pass by for sure.
100%.
Surrounding yourself with like-minded people, I think that's very important.
Yeah.
And we talked a little bit about like the balance, right? Like the whole family and wanting the best. What is like the toughest part you think?
I think that
Like for you.
for me is kids are exhausting, bro. So it's balancing the fact that I'm trying to be a good dad. And
I see your hat too, Dad Gang.
Yeah. So
What's that? Is that just a brand or is that
it
like
is.
a club?
It's a brand. I mean, I guess I'm part of a gang. So
Hey, we don't support that over here.
nah, it's a hat company. I don't know how I came across it, right? But I saw it and my wife bought it for me, and I'm like that's a hat. Like I'm a rock. You know what I mean?
You're
Like,
proud of it. Like,
yeah.
all right, yeah.
Because it's exhausting, man. My kids I love them to death, and I wouldn't trade them for the world. But at the end of the day, I'm tired, And I think the hardest part is balancing. Like last night, I wanted to go to bed so bad, but it's like I still need to talk to my wife. I still need to be a husband too, So just like that whole balance of my kids can't be my entire life. I still need to make sure that I'm showing the love and support to my wife because she came before the kids. And if we have a terrible relationship, me and her, then I'm gonna have a terrible relationship with my kids. Like it's a domino effect.
Yeah, I respect that. Like I admire that too, because then you your kids are seeing that too as well.
I mean, we try. We're not perfect. But
No,
we
for
try.
sure you're not perfect, but like in a world of people who really don't give a shit and kind of do the opposite, don't really care, give their kids crap food. Like you said, their babysitter is TikTok, YouTube.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And I mean, there's no knock on anybody, but it would be so much easier for me to give them an iPad
Yeah.
and just say, hey, play on this for 12 hours a day. But because we're real intentional about not doing that, it makes our days longer and more tiring. But I'm hoping we see the development over the years, and we see reflecting back in 10 years, like, hey, we got some good, young, mature kids that are now like contributing to society.
Responsible, yeah.
Responsible, respectful. All those little things, the mundane, whatever that
Mundane?
word, mundane, like the stuff that we talk about with like exercising. It's the same thing with our kids, right? Like little things like make sure you make your beds every day. Like that's going to translate into hopefully they have a clean, house when they move out. You know what I mean? Like just little things like that.
Yeah, no, I respect that for sure. And then like you guys leading by example, I feel like that's the biggest part. A lot of parents want to tell their kids what to do,
Yeah.
but they're not doing it themselves. So it's like monkey see, monkey do. We all know we were all kids one time.
Yeah.
And if you see your parents doing it, you're more than likely to do it as well. If you see whether it's drinking, whether it's eating healthy,
Yeah.
whether it's eating cheeseburgers all day, it's like, or soda, it's like, well, you said I can't have soda, but you have soda.
Yeah.
And the parents like, well, it's because I said so. You're a fucking hypocrite
Yeah.
at the end of the day. And like you said, nobody's perfect,
No.
but it's those intentions that you want. You know what I mean? It's those what we strive for.
Yeah.
Still, at the end of the day, that's the goal.
And it's just like you said, man. It's a balance. Like we know there's only certain things that we can control within our home, right? So if we go to a birthday party and they want some snacks or some sweets or a soda or whatever, like I'm not gonna tell them no. I'll tell them, be mindful, like listen to your body, because if you rarely have it and then you have 4 sodas, like your stomach's gonna be jacked up, So it's just being like everything in moderation, because I don't want to completely deprive them where then they get to the point where they get older and they just want to defy us.
Yeah.
So it's hard, bro, but it's fun.
Yeah. And then your guys' family diet is more. How is your guys' family diet? I know that's like way different. I respect that too and admire that. Like, there's not a lot of people like that, bro. There's not a lot of people that have a similar mindset. There's not a lot of. They're going to work in the morning.
We're getting home, huh?
There's not a lot of people who want to intentionally try to do their best. They just make the excuse where it's too hard. The kids won't eat this. I got a family, so I can't eat healthy because I got a family and I got to cook 2 different things. So how is your guys' diet for the most part?
We're pretty boring, bro. Like we eat eggs pretty much every morning.
That's baller shit right now, bro. Eggs are expensive.
Yeah, bro. We found a Connect. So we got a lady that she has.
After we air this, you need to give me the Connect.
She has a bunch of chickens in her backyard, so that's where we've been getting our eggs because the stores don't have them right now. So we're boring, bro. We eat a lot of like eggs and toast for breakfast, or we'll do like overnight oats. And then buying the stuff. Like, what's the word I'm looking for? Like buying the ingredients and making it ourselves versus like just buying like oatmeal stuff. Yeah, the packets of oatmeal are junk.
Yeah.
So we buy.
It's a joke when you actually look at it.
Oh yeah, the amount of sugar
it has.
Yeah. So we were real intentional. Like we buy a high quality oat and then we put in some fruit, a little bit of maple syrup and milk, and like the kids like it, we like it, and it's a lot cleaner than buying some of this other stuff. And then our lunches and dinners, like, don't get me wrong, we got...
Oatmeal is cheap. It's crazy when you look at it.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I don't have money to eat healthy, but you look at the alternative, it's like...
So, yeah, you mentioned how like, cheap oatmeal can be.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of information for oatmeal and against oatmeal, right? Like, no matter what route you go, people are always going to have...
You seen those videos online where they're like, don't eat bread. It's bad for you. And then they're like, okay, they get fruit. Don't eat fruit. It's bad. There's a diet for everything, bro.
Everything's going to have someone against it, right? But for the most part, we're pretty boring, bro. Like, we have a bunch of eggs for breakfast, overnight oats. Our lunches and dinners are pretty much like a meat and a potato, or like a chicken and a rice.
Protein and a carb.
Yeah. Last night I texted you. We had chicken, we had potatoes and broccoli.
That's for the good, too.
And that's pretty... basic. I'm not gonna lie, like, yeah, we got Dino Nugs in there for the kids if occasionally we're in a pinch, but it's not like every single night we're just ordering pizza, or every night we're eating
fast food,
McDonald's or something. Like, real talk, that was something that we've just never done, And then even occasionally if we do it, we just feel like dirty, bro. We're like, man, I spent, because I got 3 kids, right?
All the people out there eating McDonald's are gonna be like,
I know, hey,
I think it looks at me dirt.
I'm gonna offend some people, but I got 3 kids.
But put
so,
the McGriddle down.
right? I'm gonna go to McDonald's and spend probably $40
Bro,
now.
it's expensive.
It's
dude.
expensive, and then afterwards I feel like trash. I'd rather spend that $40 and either go somewhere a little bit cleaner, or I'm just gonna go and buy some stuff
You're
at the
gonna go to
store.
your chicken lady and get some eggs.
Yeah, and my wife was like, "Babe, it's expensive. She's charging $10 a dozen right now," and I'm like, "You go anywhere, that's the price."
Yeah.
And
you can't find them.
You can't find them. And I know this lady, like...
She has the chickens in her backyard, you said?
Yeah, so they're running around in her backyard. Like, you can't get no more, like, free range than that.
Yeah.
So, that's where we've been buying our eggs.
And you assume, you'd like to think if she's eating the eggs, she's probably giving the chickens the best quality food that she can.
I mean, I'm not best friends with her. I don't know her that well, but I would like to.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
And it's cool, too, because even the kids, like, we got a couple blue eggs, and they're like, why is the egg blue? And I'm like, I really don't know. But we're gonna eat it.
Yeah. Yeah, I want to get into finding like places like that where you get like eggs from somebody you know.
Mm-hmm.
Steak is kind of expensive, but maybe in the future. But
so
raw
I
milk,
saw-
raw honey.
Mhm.
I don't know if you ever tried those.
So raw milk is like next to impossible to find.
Really?
Because it's like, don't quote me on this, but I think it's against the law in California to
Yeah,
sell.
I never tried none of that.
So you can go to like Sprouts, and I know they sell like dog topper, which is like raw milk, but they can't.
Is there humans drinking that? Is there people?
They can't market it for humans. So if you go to Sprouts,
But I'm saying, is there guys that go?
yeah,
Have you tried it?
I have not. Because
Dog topper.
I'm like, my stomach is super like dairy sensitive, so I don't really drink milk to begin with. But my wife will get like super like kefir or kefir, however people.
I never even heard that word.
It's like super. It's supposed to have like a bunch of like probiotics and stuff like that. So she's more into like the dairy side of things. I don't mess with dairy.
Yeah, I like dairy.
Yeah, I mean I'll have cheese, but that's about it.
Yeah, that's crazy.
But-
I'm gonna have to look into that, see if it's even legal. Because I'm over here googling raw milk.
Yeah.
Near me, no wonder nothing pops up.
Yeah. And I was actually looking last night, and I was going to text you too. I found this website where you can buy like a full cow, and they'll chop it up for you, and they'll vacuum seal it, and they'll send it to you. It's expensive, dude. It's like $3,000.
Damn.
But you have, a couple 100 pounds of meat.
Yeah. Well, it's like $3,000, but that might be for the whole year.
Exactly. So I was going to text you and be like, hey, maybe this fool wants to go halves, and we have food for the year.
Depends. I'll get what half of the cow am I getting? You know what I'm saying? That would be dope, though.
Yeah.
I feel like we could find somebody around here too. You go to Corona, Norco, or something.
Yeah.
Where I've heard about that. Where you go talk to a farmer. I want to buy. I'm down to go halves.
Yeah. Because I got
You know me. I'm into. I like red meat. I think it's a superfood. From what they say, the research I've seen, it has a lot of vitamins you can't get nowhere else, and I feel like it's an essential part of your diet to feel good.
And even just from a feeling, I know we can't live this life on feelings, but if I have like chicken and potatoes versus if I have steak and potatoes, I'm more full off the steak and potatoes.
Yeah.
And that's going to last me longer.
It tastes better. And a
it
lot of
tastes
people
better,
say like, oh, it's high cholesterol. Are you worried about the fat? Are you worried about this? Like, dude, we're fucking trying to work out. Like, we're not, like, the people who saying that are not getting up and running 3 miles a day. They're not getting up at all, like, to work out. At all during the week, they're not running, they're not walking. That's why you should be concerned, because you're not getting no exercise.
And you take all that with a grain of salt, too, because, right, like, cholesterol, like, we need cholesterol.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I'm not saying to go and be stupid about it, but, like, you have to do your own research of, like, good cholesterol versus bad cholesterol and stuff like that, right? Because the same thing about eggs. They were saying eggs were the most unhealthy thing in the world. And I hope they're not, because we eat a lot of eggs, so.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I mean.
And it's funny because the people who tell you question your diet or question how much red meat you eat, question how much cheese or raw milk, is that healthy, or you're getting your chickens from a lady? Like, I don't know about that. I don't trust that. What the fuck are you eating? All your foods have barcodes on them. Every single food.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't trust, or like, you're questioning me when, look what you're eating.
Yeah.
Do you know how much, what is it, preservatives you're consuming? How many chemicals, how many microplastics you're consuming?
And it's everything in life is moderation, right? Like, you can't live in a bubble. But it is cool because it's funny, and I I take blame for it.
A lot of people, they don't do their own research about the food. It's like people don't realize that a lot of the advice that's been fed to us is made to get us. It's made for us to depend on the medical system. That big pharma is like, that's a whole podcast in its own. I need to do my more research on that.
And that's, I mean, we've texted a little bit about it, right? Like that's opening up a whole other can of worms. And at the end of the day, like you're gonna have to make a decision, and I'm gonna make a decision what I feel like is best for me and my family, for you as well. And I don't know, it's just educating. Like I feel like growing up, I just ate whatever, and I was a little fat boy, and it is what it is, But now with like my kids, it's funny. I'll see them like look at the label, and they'll be like,
That's dope.
20 grams of sugar, Dad, but 12 grams of added sugar. And then we have the conversation of like,
how old are they?
I mean, my oldest is 7, so she's the one who's really looking at it.
She's doing more than most adults, bro.
Yeah. So she'll look and she'll be like, well, why does this one have no added sugar? Why does this one have added sugar? And we have those conversations like, some foods have natural sugar. And so
that's sick.
So it's just trying to educate her and get her in a good position where she's not wishing in 15 years that she would have had a healthier upbringing. You know what I mean?
You're trying to give them a head start on things that you've learned through life.
Yeah, 100%. That's the goal, right? Like, my goal as a parent is to just make, or not make, but help my kids have a successful life. And I try to give them more than I had. Not that I didn't have enough, but that's what everyone's parent goal, right? Try to give them more than what they had. So, kind of off topic a little bit.
We were talking about
food.
Sure. That's definitely in the topic. I feel like if I ever were to have a family, I would want the same things. Like, just because you grew up not knowing what a calorie was, not knowing what protein was, not knowing how bad sugar really is for you, that doesn't mean you're gonna pass that on to your kid. Like, sometimes you're gonna enjoy a slice of pizza or Philly cheesesteak, or ice cream, whatever. But that's not going to be your daily nutrition. You got to show them what's important, and like you said, how to relabel. That's big. That's dope, man. Yeah. At such a young age.
Yeah, I mean, my boy, he's stubborn, so he's more stubborn with what he eats. If it was up to him, he would probably have mac and cheese every single day. Yeah. But for the most part, we at least have him try what we're eating, and he'll eat it. Once he tries it, he'll be like, "Oh, it's actually not that bad."
And the thing is, like, at the end of the day, you as a parent, you can't control every aspect.
Yeah,
you're giving them what you know. You're giving them the education. You're giving them what you've lived through, what your wife has lived through, the experience you guys, the mistakes. You're trying to have them avoid them. Yeah. And that's the best thing you can do. You can't tell them you're gonna eat this and that's it, because sooner or later behind your back, they're gonna be eating hot Cheetos at school. They're gonna be drinking sodas at school. Exactly. So you're teaching them, okay, this is why this is bad. Yeah. And at the end of the day, you're gonna have to make the choices for yourself. 100%. That's powerful, bro.
I mean, that's the goal, right?
That's something I think like most people can learn from.
Yeah, that's the goal. I mean, it's not perfect, but that's the goal.
Yeah. Speaking of goals. What's your goals for the future? Running wise, diet wise, health wise. Getting how we talk about recovering and getting back to running. Do you have any races?
Yeah, so I think goals wise is just like continuing. I've been trying to actually like listen to the doctor this time for the most part with my back. So trying to do a lot more like stretching. He says I gotta do core work, which I hate. Like no one wants to work out their core. But actually doing some core work to get my back taken care of. And then I wanted to run the Nanny Goat. I texted you the other day, and they canceled it. Yeah. So
I was so ready to do that 6 hours again, bro. That 6 hours of hell I did. I was kind of, whenever I do, eventually I want to do it again. Yeah. And whenever I do the Nanny Goat, I'm definitely going to be way more prepared. So I feel like it's not going to be as bad, bro. Because I feel like it was pretty bad for me.
Nah. Yeah, that was tough. So I'm looking at the Fontana Days run. They have one coming up in June, so I want to do that half. That's going to be kind of like my next goal. It gives me about 10 weeks to like do like some solid training and get my body right and take care of it, and then it kind of like kickstarts the summer too.
Yeah. And this year you want to do a marathon sometime? What about even if it's not an official marathon, but what about like either by yourself, with a group of friends, with one other person, just like, you know what? I'm going to train this weekend. I'm doing 26.2 miles? Mm-hmm. Is there something that, like a run you'd want to do sometime this year like that?
I don't want to say no. I mean, I want to eventually get to a point where like I'm running, long distance again. I'm just a little hesitant, right? Like we were talking about like our injury, like
Yeah.
you know, backs are something that scare me because you know you see people who have back surgeries and stuff like that. And I don't want to get to that point. So long story short, I don't want to say that's a goal of mine, but I also don't want to say no. I want to hit up with our buddy and do some of those like long. He does like 10, 15 mile like trail runs in the mountains. Like that looks like that would be cool. So I want to join him on some of those this summer.
Seth?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a maniac.
Yeah, he's wild, bro.
Yeah, you guys go give him a follow. Was it Club Hub Run?
Club
on
Hub
Instagram?
Run
on Instagram. Yeah,
on Strava.
Yeah, well, I don't know. Yeah, I forgot about that one.
Yeah,
but yeah, he's a maniac. Like he's constantly getting after it. If you guys want a
Mm-hmm.
club, he started his own run club, so that shit's and they're super friendly.
Mm-hmm.
It's not where it's like keep up or fall behind. It's like you go at your own pace,
Yeah.
And I remember he was doing somewhere people were even walking. It's
Yeah.
just the whole point is to get out there. And
Just
it's like a family.
Mm-hmm.
Family oriented environment.
Yeah, I've taken my kids to I think one or two of the runs with him. I mean, not all of them, but a couple of the shorter ones. I've taken my kids and they ride their bikes while we run. It's just like you said, getting people together, and I think we forget how social running could actually be.
Yeah.
And if you find people who live close to you and enjoy running or are willing to run, they don't have to enjoy it, but are willing to, it makes it a lot easier to do it consistently. And
Bro, for me, when I first got into running, and my circle of people and my family, my group of friends, people at work, I was like the outcast. It's like, why are you running so much? You're crazy. You're waking up early. You're doing what? 3 miles? You're running for a whole hour nonstop? Like, yeah, dude, I'm just trying to do my best. And then I got to meet you, and then you introduced me to Seth, and it's just like this whole group of like-minded people, like you said before, like around my circle of people, I'm up here. I'm like doing the most. But once I get around Seth, you and Seth, it's just like, dude, I got some work to do. Dude, like, and I was reading a book, and that's very important to have people that are kind of like somewhat behind their journey, like behind how do you say it? Behind, they're further back in their journey compared to you.
Okay.
People in the same step of your journey and people ahead of you to learn from. So you want to be able to teach people, and you want to have people alongside of you where you're having the same struggles.
Yeah.
And you want to have some type of mentor, somebody who's going to motivate you, somebody you could go to for questions.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's kind of, we're running, that's how you guys were for me. That's how you guys are for me.
And I think you kind of hit it right on the nail, because our relationship, I think, kind of started strictly as like a physical like competition, kind of like, hey, we're gonna run blank miles this week or whatever.
Well, yeah, I'm cocky, so I was just like, hey, I'm gonna outrun you.
Pretty much.
You're
yeah.
kind of being, you didn't, I'll say it.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm gonna outrun you, and then you're like, all right, let's see. Your issue was, if I remember right, because you could run faster than me, but it was actually getting out there and doing it.
Yeah.
And me, I was like, well, I could get out there and do it. I'm just slow. And we ended up just doing it together, and me going like kind of pushing you to actually do it, and you pushing me to pick up the slack. Like, okay, I don't want to do 8 miles, but fuck it, let's go.
Yeah. And it's funny. I mean, it all started just from like running, right? And I think our relationship has evolved where we text each other pretty consistently and just about various things that honestly don't even have to do with just running anymore. Before, it started out just, all right,
sending screenshots of our miles.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what it was. So it's cool, man.
Yeah. And then like for myself, I would like to do a marathon for sure at the end of the year.
Really?
Yeah, I feel like I can.
Okay.
I feel like, my ankle, I feel like as long as it gets better, as long as my ankle gets better, I do want to do it. Even like I said, even if it's not an official one, just in my head, hey, I'm going to go run 26 miles this weekend. Let me prepare for it this amount of weeks ahead of time. But for now, for the future, we're getting in our morning runs, me and you, Saturday and Sunday. Last weekend, we did 3 miles Saturday and Sunday. This weekend, Saturday, we did 3 miles already. Tomorrow, we already plan to do another 3. So I want to keep the momentum going with that. I feel really good about it. Obviously, it's not going to be perfect. There's times I'm going to have to say, hey, dude, I can't this day, this weekend, I'm out of town, or I have something else going on. You're going to have things that are going, but I think we're going to hold each other accountable really well. We're starting off, we're getting the ball rolling at a good pace, and I want to keep that going.
I mean, if we're getting up and doing this when it's dark and freezing, it's only going to get easier.
Bro, for the people who don't know, it was 46 degrees this morning. The first day we ran.
It was colder than that, man.
When I looked it up on the way here, the car said 46. That's why I'm cold right now.
Yeah, it's cold.
But the first day we ran, remember the first day?
Yeah.
Bro, ice was on the car. Ice was on the floor. Our hands were freezing.
Yeah.
I remember you were like, you're not going to take a sweater? I was like, nah, I'll warm up usually when I'm running. That day I didn't warm up at all, bro.
Nah, it was cold. But we're still getting after it.
Yeah.
And then it's silly, bro. But like once we're done, I mean, right now you hear some birds chirping, but once you're done and you just hear like the silence, is cool, man.
And I feel like it puts you on a mental high, knowing you knocked out something that most people don't do during the day, and now you got the whole day to kind of, like you said, for your family, do whatever you have to do, errands. You just knock that out, and it's on a weekend.
Yeah.
Like this is the time people are like, "Oh, let's sleep in." What'd you do? What'd you do this weekend? Nothing. I woke up late. I watched TV.
Yeah.
Like no, we did extra.
Yeah.
Like we woke up earlier than we do during the week to knock this out.
Yeah, we did.
And eventually, we were talking about it. We want to get to the point where we do this within the week, which would be the whole nother level.
Yeah, those are gonna be some like 4 a.m. workouts.
Yeah.
Baby steps. We'll get there though.
Yeah.
We'll get there.
And then, like I said as well, we keep doing this running together. As long as we got time, you said you're down. Do a podcast here and there. You know what I mean? Catch up and I mean, pick each other's brain on different topics.
I was gonna say just pick each other's brain, kind of see what comes genuine. Like, I mean, maybe there's some things that people throw in and want to talk about, but for the most part, I think we have enough things between the two of us that we have enough topics between the two of us. We could talk about some things.
Sure. So, if you guys got any questions, if you guys got any questions for him specifically, let us know in the comments. Send us a message, DM, whatever. And if for both of us to cover, let us know.
Yeah.
And if you guys are getting after it, salute to you. It's fucking tough. We know it. If you're not, what the fuck are you waiting for? Get the fuck moving. But we appreciate you guys. Thank you for the support. Leave a like, subscribe, all that good stuff. And hope you guys get after it. Have a great fucking week. Peace.